What's going on, everyone? It's Dr. Noah here. This is going to be the start of a little mini series that goes through what we call the 3 T's of subluxation. You may have heard many chiropractors refer to this before, and they refer to traumas, toxins, and thoughts. So each episode is going to get its own respective description as well as its own time to talk about how does this show up in our life, how does it affect the nervous system, and how does chiropractic tie into it. We'll end this whole series with what's referred to as the perfect storm, where we talk about how a combination of all these things can create severe interference for a child's developing nervous system. So, without further ado, let's get into this. Let's talk about trauma. Now, trauma doesn't have to be on a large scale, it can also happen on a smaller scale. So, we call these macro traumas and micro traumas. This is one of the most common reasons that a person might see a chiropractor in the first place. Hey, doc, my neck hurts here. Hey, doc, my back hurts here. Or I got a headache. All of which can be caused from some kind of physical impact, or it could be caused by repetitive motion. So let's break this down further. A macro trauma is going to be something like taking a bigger hit than normal in a sports match or suffering a car accident. This is something that is outside of the body's normal, and therefore the body wasn't able to adapt to it as efficiently or as fast as it needed to. Therefore, joints might pay the price. It could be in your neck, it could be in your back, it could be your shoulder. What say you? The reason that these joints hurt over time is because they subluxate due to a overload of force, and now they don't move as efficiently. Now, when they don't move as efficiently, that's going to lose neurological flow from the neurospinal system to the brain. That neurological flow is referred to as proprioception. So, proprioception is our ability to know where we are in space, to know where our joints are, and how to move through space in the most efficient way possible, as well as for kiddos, how to interact with their environment. When you don't have proper proprioceptive flow at a certain joint, the brain goes, I don't know what's going on there. I need to figure it out. It's going to make areas above, below, or next to it do more work or move more because that increases the neurological flow. But now you have other joints that are working harder than normal because we have a blind spot, because we have a worker who is not participating as much as they need to. For a brief period of time, this is okay. It's a brief adaptation because the nervous system knows how to figure it out. It doesn't care if it's inefficient. Its only job is to keep you alive. So, if it figures out a way to function, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, it's done its job. Over time, these areas that move more are going to be the ones that start to yell because they're doing so much work. And the area that actually was the root cause, be it something in the spine, be it a shoulder leading to neck pain or a shoulder leading to elbow pain, that initial area may actually decrease in pain because the body's going to try and shut it down to stabilize it. On top of that, your brain will slowly desensitize you to pain in order to keep you interacting with your environment. However, we can only desensitize so much pain until we get to a point of we can't do anything anymore. This is typically the point where we get someone coming in complaining of low back pain, neck pain, headaches, what say you? So, as a chiropractor comes in to deliver an adjustment, we are delivering more proprioceptive input to that stuck joint because part of subluxation is decreased neurological flow and decreased range of motion. Decreased range of motion, less proprioception going to the brain. So, introduce new proprioception. Now the joint gets its normal range of motion back and it goes, oh, I haven't had this before. The first adjustment is only a drop of a pebble in a pond. It might make some ripples. It might give some initial relief. It might bring on some more soreness because this joint, who knows how long it hasn't moved. If it hasn't moved in a long time, well, guess what? You can guarantee that there's going to be some more adjustments going there because the nervous system loves patterns. It loves things that are familiar. So if you got a joint that's been stuck for 6, 7, 8 months, then it's going to want to go back to the original pattern, to the original thing that it knew. It'll try to get stuck again. So that's why frequent adjustments are needed, because we're trying to teach your nervous system something more efficient. So that's the case of a macro trauma. Now, what about a micro trauma? Now, a micro trauma is going to be someone who's a desk worker, for example. The body loves things that are familiar, but it also loves variety. We're not meant to recycle over and over and over again because that's a static way of existence. Your nervous system is dynamic. What I mean by that is homeostasis, something that most people are familiar with. Homeostasis isn't a set point, it's actually a range. And when we're in that range, we exist well and we are doing well. When we go outside of that range is when things get wonky. So when you have micro traumas, and we'll use a desk worker, for example, because it's very easy, constantly sitting in the same position, very little motion of the neurospinal system at all. What's usually moving? Just the wrists. Maybe the elbows, maybe a few rotations here and there, but there's very little motion. So very little motion is going to place a lot of mechanical stress on specific parts of the neurospinal system. So those specific parts are going to be doing a lot of work while everything else is going, okay, like, are we going to do anything? Are we going to do anything? Think of it like a skill set that you used to have, but you never practiced it. If you don't practice it, guess what? It's going to go out the window. The neurospinal system, if it's not moving, if it's not being utilized, it's going to be like, okay, this is all I got to do. Then I don't care about this. I don't care about that. So the areas that take the most stress are going to try and create more stability because they need help. But the other areas aren't moving, so less proprioception. All the proprioception is going to this spot, but it can only carry out so much. So what ends up happening? Muscles start to tighten up. We start to get inefficient muscle coordination because we're stuck doing the same thing over and over and over. We're not giving variety to the nervous system. So this is why someone who works a desk job, not only will they need some more adjustments to help introduce better proprioception to the areas above and below, and we might do some more work in that area that's screaming, but the area that's screaming is doing enough work already. So it may need a few adjustments, but it's not going to be the bread and butter of our care. It's the areas around it that really need to step up the pace. They're also going to be very encouraged to move after an adjustment. And what I mean by that is your body wants to move. When you get that adjustment, don't go back to just sitting in the chair. I always tell people who are desk workers, if you can move for 5 to 10 minutes every single hour, it's going to save you so much stress on your neurospinal system. So 5 to 10 movements, you can do 5 to 10 movements, go for it, but 5 to 10 minutes of movement every single hour gives you huge dividends on your neurospinal health and your neuro-musculoskeletal system. So those are traumas. They can happen on micro levels. They can happen on macro levels. And for kiddos, they happen all the time. They're going to fall. They're going to bend. They're going to twist. They're going to do all these things. Kiddos and their milestones, those milestones, the motor ones, only are achieved if they have good proprioceptive flow, because that lets them know where they are in space. So when a child is missing motor milestones, that tells us, there's some kind of disconnect in the neurospinal system. They don't know where they are in space. They're trying to work around it. So that's the first T of 3 traumas. If you like this kind of material, Click the subscribe link below, hit that button, drop a comment, send this to a friend, and I'll see you on the next one.